Good evening, everyone. I'm Zen Master Sebastian Rizzon, founder of the Zen Art Center and the Mind Light Way School of Zen. I'm glad you're all here tonight. I hold these Dharma Talks on the third Thursday of every month, and I hold guided meditations on the third Thursday of every month from 7 to 8 p.m. So you can join us anytime, and you can find the stream live on our YouTube channel at the Zen Art Center. If you want to come back and listen to any of these or see any of the old ones, you can check them out there. So I just called myself a Zen master, but what does that mean? Before we can even approach that question, we have to understand two things. What is Zen, and what does it mean to be a master? So tonight I want to look at these three questions. What is Zen? What is a master? And what does it mean to be a master of Zen? Let me start by talking a little bit about Zen. People describe Zen in many different ways, but at its heart, it points to the nature of mind. In Zen, understanding mind through direct experience, not through concepts, is the path to truth, which we call Dharma. The natural truth that isn't shaped by belief, philosophy, or even thought. This naturally brings up another question. What is mind? You all have a mind, right? But what is your mind? What is it that makes you who you are? Mind shapes your entire experience of reality. But what is it? Any answers? The most common answer I get is people say that mind comes from brain. But are we sure about that? Where's the proof? If you think that science has proven that mind comes from the brain, it hasn't. It's shown some correlation between brain activity and experience, but it's far from proving that the mind comes from the brain. It only correlates that two things are happening at the same time. It hasn't shown any evidence of causation. If we want to know what's actually true, we need proof, not assumptions, not beliefs, and not something that someone told us. Belief without proof is religion, not science. So this is a huge unanswered question. What is mind? The mind is so foundational to everything we experience, but science doesn't offer us any explanation of what it is. In Zen, questions like this are called koans. A koan isn't meant to be solved with conceptual answers. It's meant to show you the limitations of intellectual explanations. Intellect is useful, but it has limitations. Intellect can point us towards something that's true with words and other conceptual symbols and ideas, but it can never be the thing that it's pointing to. It gives us a map, but it isn't the same as being on the terrain. Conceptual explanations can give us a partial reflection of something, but it can't be the thing that's being reflected. So contemplate this question. What is mind? If you hold this question deeply and completely engage your mind with that question without letting it go, eventually all the thoughts that you usually rely on will run out. When the thoughts are exhausted, the mind becomes clear. In that clarity, you can directly experience the knowing of what mind is. In Zen, we call that enlightenment. In its essence, Zen means complete awareness and engagement with whatever arises. And one way we practice engaging and expanding our awareness is through sitting meditation. In Zen, we use meditation to clear the mind through focus and concentration. So for the next part of class, I'd like us to meditate together to clear the mind. You can sit with your legs crossed, keep your neck and back straight. Try not to slouch too much. We're going to have our hands right hand, left hand, touching your thumbs. You can adjust these positions at any time if it helps you stay comfortable. If you need to stretch out, feel free to stretch out. And we're going to move into a breathing technique that can help us relax and prepare our body for meditation. So just start by breathing a little bit slower and a little bit deeper than you usually do. Bring your attention to the center of your chest and visualize your heart as you breathe. You can place your hand on your heart and close your eyes if you'd like. Just keep breathing slow and steady. As you listen to my voice, continue slowing down your breath and breathing a little bit deeper. Feel the breath coming in through your nose and mouth and gathering all of the energy from your head and from your brain and moving it into your chest. Imagine now that you're breathing with your heart. The purpose of this practice is to align our mind, heart, and body. Keep breathing slow, deep, and steady. This breathing technique sends a message to the body to relax and to release anxiety and stress. If you practice this technique consistently, you can learn to reset yourself in any moment simply by taking some slow and deep breaths. For now, let's just practice together. Just slow, deep breathing for a few minutes. Now we're going to move into a mantra meditation. A mantra is the focal point of meditation. The word mantra literally translates to mean a tool to liberate the mind. In this practice, the mantra helps free the mind from its usual stream of thoughts, perceptions, and feelings. A mantra can be anything you focus on, but in sitting meditation, it's usually a word or phrase repeated silently. As you meditate, try not to cling to any thoughts, feelings, opinions, or desires that arise. If a thought comes, let it pass and return to your mantra. If you try not to think, thoughts will still appear. The more completely you focus on your mantra, the less space there is for other thoughts to take hold. If you don't already have a mantra you prefer, I suggest using the mantra of Kwanseum Bosal. Kwanseum Bosal is the Bodhisattva of love and compassion in Korean Zen. A Bodhisattva is an awakened being that's dedicated their lives to helping other people realize their true nature. Kwanseum Bosal said to have thousands of eyes and hands and be able to see the suffering of everyone and help those who call out her name. So using this mantra will bring compassionate energy towards you while you meditate, which helps you clear your mind. So for this meditation, I'm just going to have us all stand up and turn around in our spot. This will also give us a chance to stretch us a little bit at the beginning and the end of the meditation. So just stand up, turn around, face the other direction, and we'll get started with this meditation. We're going to meditate for about 20 minutes or so. And I'll hit the moktak to start and finish the meditation. So, as we come out of the meditation, hopefully you have a little more understanding about what Zen is. Now I'd like to return to the other question I raised at the beginning of class. What does it mean to be a master? Outside of the context of Zen, mastery means reaching a level of complete integration between knowledge, skill, and understanding in any craft. A master isn't just someone who can perform well. They've internalized the principles so deeply in their actions, that in their body, that their actions flow naturally without any conscious effort. They can adapt creatively, teach others, and apply their craft in any situation. A master is someone whose skill is so instinctive and embodied that their ability is consistently revealed through their results and the results of their actions. Mastery of any craft requires precision, patience, discipline, awareness, and intuition. And when those same qualities are integrated and internalized, the thing that ends up being refined the most is your own behavior. The path to becoming a Zen master is not all that different. The training is centered on cultivating clear awareness in every moment, so that your actions become the expression of a mind free from fixation, concepts, and division. You're constantly training to meet each situation as it arises. Under the guidance of a Zen master, your ability to do this is constantly tested by your teacher through koans and through different situations that arise. My teacher was a Zen master, a martial arts master, and a sword master. So he trained us in Zen through martial arts and sword practice. If you were performing a choreographed sequence of martial arts and you made a mistake, it was immediately obvious that your awareness had drifted. He also tested us by observing, at the temple, observing how we washed dishes and swept the floor. If you left a spot on a dish or you missed a piece of dust on the floor, he always pointed it out. His feedback wasn't about doing the chores so much, it was about the quality of your awareness during whatever you're doing. He constantly was pointing out whether our mind was clear or not clear. To outsiders, he might have seemed strict, but the purpose was always to provoke insight into ourselves and the state of our mind. Whether your mind is clear or not clear, it shows up in your actions. You can learn to master yourself by mastering whatever task you're doing. Zen mastery is applying the techniques of mastery to the art of being. When the process becomes fully embodied, your understanding is demonstrated through your actions. When your mind is completely clear in every moment, your thoughts and actions are free from fixation and division. Compassion becomes your natural function because the illusion between separation of yourself and others is no longer there. In truth, Zen Master is just a conceptual label, like all of these other words that we use. I use the title only because my teacher gave it to me and because it honors the lineage that preserves this teaching. The real meaning isn't in the title, it's in the function. A Zen master expresses clear, compassionate action in every moment. I lived with my teacher and I trained under his relentless scrutiny for nearly a decade before I could consistently demonstrate clarity through my words and my actions. Then, after just about 10 years, he asked me to demonstrate this to the entire Sangha in my formal test to become a Zen master. And the test was simple. I just had to cut an apple in half with my sword as it was sitting on one of my friend's stomach. I'd never done anything like this before. But after 10 years of training, and I trained with the sword, there was no doubt in my mind that I could do it. I had already proven that I had this ability to my teacher and to my friend many, many times. They trusted me completely. At this point, the test was only a verification of what all of us already knew. It was a demonstration for the Sangha to demonstrate what's possible when your mind is clear. It wasn't mystical, it was simple. Just cut the apple in half. As you can guess from my title, the test went well. I cut the apple perfectly in half, and then I ate it as a snack afterwards. In that moment, I demonstrated to everyone in attendance that I was a master of my mind. So it makes a pretty good story, right? But what does this all mean for you? Zen isn't about swords or dramatic tests. It's about your life. Mastery is not mysterious. Zen is not reserved for special people. Zen is the natural function of a mind that's completely engaged in the moment. The same type of clarity that allowed me to cut the apple can allow you to cut through your own confusion, habits, reactivity, and fears. Every moment gives you a chance to train yourself. You can train this anywhere with anything you're doing. Brushing your teeth, walking, cooking, cleaning, creating art, or interacting with someone who's challenging you. Whatever you do with complete engagement becomes a form of practice. Everything you do can become your own training. Every movement you make can be a meditation. Every situation can be a mirror that shows you the state of your own mind. Sitting meditation helps you build a foundation of clarity through focus and concentration. But moving meditation is where you learn to apply that level of focus to the rest of your life. This is why I teach a lot of moving meditation in this school. It simply means complete engagement with whatever you're doing. Training yourself to remain focused without letting your mind wander. When you practice this way, over time, the boundary between what's practice and your life and the rest of your life begins to dissolve. Through this practice, you can train your mind and body to move together without hesitation and without division. When your mind, body, and actions are aligned with this level of clarity, you unlock a deeper awareness of everything that's happening around you. Then you can see what's going on more clearly and make better decisions about how to act. This clarity of mind and the expansive awareness that comes with it naturally improves the richness and quality of your life. Anyone can walk this path. There's no gate or barrier to entry. You don't need special abilities. You don't need to be spiritual. You don't need to be a Zen master, or you don't need to have a Zen master or a teacher. You simply need the willingness to meet each moment clearly. If you want guidance, that's what I'm here for. I offer the same kind of lessons my teacher offered me. Everything I teach to points to the direct experience available to you in every moment. Your only task is to remain completely engaged with whatever you're doing. If you want to go deeper into training or learn how to be a teacher, I offer that here as well through our Path to Mastery program. which is an essential part of the Mind Light Way School of Zen's mission to train other Zen masters and Zen teachers. Truthfully, everything I know and everything I teach is already within you. It's like offering you water when you're standing by a river. All I do is keep you pointed in the right direction with patience, sincerity, and compassion. If you want to walk the path on your own, you already have everything you need. If you want help, I'm here. Zen is the expression of a clear mind in this moment, and it's possible for you right now. Becoming a Zen master isn't about obtaining a title. It's learning how to live with a clear mind in every moment. The title of Zen master, to me, is not a sign of status. It's a sign to other people that I'm here to help and help them discover the truth within themselves. So as we finish, keep this in your heart. Everything you need to know about Zen is right here and right now. The path to Zen mastery begins the moment you stop letting your thoughts drift and completely engage with this moment. If your mind is clear, your path is clear. If your mind is clouded, your path is clouded. The only barrier to entry is a gateless gate within your own mind. If you want to walk this path, all you need to do is clear your mind and take a step. And I wish you all good luck and good fortune on that journey. So that concludes what I had to speak about directly tonight and what I wanted to talk about. But I always open it up for questions from this group or the online chat. If anybody has any questions, please let me know in the chat. And I love this part of class. Happy to answer any questions about Zen, meditation, the mind, anything that's on your mind. I see your hand popping up already.
Is being a master of anything like helpful to being a Zen master or a master of something else? It's like a mastery transfer to other skills.
Yes, definitely. Definitely, I think it's like an important first step is being a master of something. It doesn't matter what that is. Because through that practice, you're learning to master, like I said in my talk, you're learning to master your own behavior. So being able to control yourself is an important step to being able to keep your mind clear in every moment. It's like being able to control your thoughts. So that process of mastering something, whether it's playing guitar or learning a sword like I did, or, it could be the work you're doing at your job even. I think that is a very important step. I will say, though, it can become a trap, because it can be a trap in the sense that along with mastery, quite often in our society come a lot of recognition for what you do. Often material gains, you're accompanied by material gains. You receive a lot of praise. And sometimes when that happens, it can affect your ego in a way where it boosts your ego and it makes you think you know more than you actually do. So being a master of like one area of skill, there's still, a vast amount of things you don't know. And if you don't keep that humility in the process, you stop learning. So I meet a lot of people who are very smart, masters in their field, but then they think they know everything. So I think that's the trap I'm talking about, is when you lose track of where the limits of your knowledge are and what you actually know and what you don't know. And it's a trap only in the sense of Zen, in that if you think you know everything, you might rely on narratives to explain certain things rather than like what your mind is, for instance. Like, you might think, oh, I understand science because I'm smart, and that means your mind comes from your brain. But do you really know that? So I think that's kind of where the humility comes in. I think I'm not trying to downplay science. I think it's very important. I think there are important correlations between the mind and the brain, and those should be studied. But in order to keep advancing, you have to keep asking deeper and deeper and deeper questions. And so, yeah, so I think mastery is an important step, but really, in terms of enlightenment, it's just like a first step, and it's an early first step. And the key is to keep going after that, and keep using the skills of mastery that you've used to learn to master other aspects of your life, and to learn how to master yourself, and how to apply that to understanding yourself. Any other questions? Let's see if we got anything here. Nothing from the chat. Any other questions here? We're a little early, so don't feel bad about, I usually go till 8, so I've got 5 minutes. We're 5 minutes of. And this is really my favorite part of class. I mostly give the talk just to provoke other questions.
I have another question.
Okay.
So you made it in your talk, you made it like sound so simple to be a Zen master. You just have to be engaged in presence with this moment. Why is it so hard to do?
Yeah, I mean, it's simple, but it's not easy, right? It's very simple to explain. It's a lot harder to do. But I think I make it sound simple because I don't want to overcomplicate it. It's really that simple. But that's one of the hardest things you can do, is learn how to control your own thoughts and your own emotions and your own feelings. And that's why so many, when you see people in like Zen and Buddhist monasteries, they meditate all the time because they're trying to understand and figure out how to do that. So that's part of the practices. But truthfully, if you can do that, you don't need to do any of the other stuff. The problem is that all of life, all of the conditions that you come across in your life, the conditions you're born into, the conditions that the world throws at you, the conditions you create in your own mind, those all get in the way of having a clear mind. They're constantly poking you, making you feel things, making you feel sensations, then thoughts swirl around those things. And so learning how to harness your own internal response to those things is very difficult. I think it's one of the things that all human beings have as a challenge. So, and I think it's particularly challenging in modern society and all of the different things we have stimulating us. It's hard to understand when something from the external is manipulating you, and versus like what is your pure and clear response to something. So I can't, it's hard to say why it's so hard, but I can definitely acknowledge that it is hard. It's difficult, but it's still very simple in what it requires. It's as simple as clearing your mind, and as difficult as clearing your mind. But that's I think the point. It's not magical. It's not even necessarily spiritual. It's just you letting go of all of the things that are clouding your mind, and then seeing clearly. And truthfully, like I was trying to say, is like has a lot of practical benefits in your life. When you see when your mind is clear, your awareness is you can be far more aware of more things going on around you. Your ability to process things going on is much clearer, and the type of decisions you make and the actions you take are clear. So it has like really a lot of practical benefits.
You have a question in the chat?
Hi, Tara. Do you find the energy of Zen draws others to you? And if so, do you think Zen can be seen and felt by others? Would you speak on that? Yeah, I do think that is true. I think if your mind is clear, it's kind of like it has the same effect on people as like seeing a beautiful flower with a beautiful smelling perfume. Like you want to look at it, you want to smell it, you want to be like, something about the beauty draws you to it. And I think just having a clear mind, it brings out a natural beauty that's not on skin. It's deeper than your skin. It's just something that's behind your body that's projecting through it. And it is an attractive force. It also, one of the things I was alluding to is that when your mind is clear, that also means like you're not creating barriers and divisions between yourself and other people. So me thinking I'm me and you're you is a form of like idea that you and I are separate. So if your mind is clear, you just see things like we're all part of this, whatever this is, whatever you want to call it, we're all part of this. And there's really no division. It's all somewhat imaginary that we're divided. Like everything, the energy in this room, the air, the floor, the world, we're all connected via that. And one of the things is when your mind is clear, you just start to like naturally understand that. And then there's no separation between you and I. So the natural thing is then you treat everything like you would yourself. Like it's natural. That's where the natural compassion comes from. And that type of energy is super attractive to other people because everybody wants to feel like they're part of something bigger, and that you're all in this together, right? That's a very attractive feeling on a very instinctual level. I don't know that you can see it with your eyes, but I certainly think it's more something that's felt probably in your mind or in your heart, more than something like that's felt physically or could be measured with some kind of instrument or something like that. And yeah, like I felt that when I met my teacher. Like I was like, I think there's something this person can teach me. So from my firsthand experience was that I have felt that. And yeah, and I think you know, people who do have a clear minds and clear visions of what they want, even like not in the enlightened sense, but just, you know, these are tend to be people who people get behind, you know. That's a little different, but I think you can see a spectrum of that across the world, where people who have certain traits start to gather, you know, have attractive energy to other people. But I think, you know, it can be also, you know, energy can be, yeah, it can be, you can use these different types of energy and feelings to manipulate people, right? But I think that's getting off topic from what this question was. But I do think, like, the pure, true, clear mind nature, I think there is something that's like instinctually attractive that can be felt by others. Of course, to say there's others, then you're acknowledging the division. So maybe it's just that we all feel it together. Question?
I have a question.
All right.
How do you know when you're good or you're doing meditation well?
How do you know when you're doing good meditation well? That's a good question. I don't really, I'll say it this way. I'm not going to answer it directly, but I think it's important not to be too concerned about whether you're doing it well. I think it's like anything you do, you get better at it over time. And what do I mean by better? I think, like, some days are going to be better than others. I don't think it's a direct line up. And I think the idea is to practice it so that it's like practicing learning how to control your thoughts. And you're always going to have challenges in that sense. Like, thoughts always come, thoughts always arise. Some days it's easy to do and it feels great, but other days it's challenging to do, often for things that are outside of your control. Maybe like your leg hurts or something and it just can't stop thinking about that. Is the day when you feel great better than the day you don't feel great? I don't necessarily think so. I think you can get better feelings out of it, but I think the consistent practice is what makes you better, and learning how to practice through all of those different conditions, all of those different challenges. And then the idea is that you're training yourself so that eventually, no matter what arises in your own life, you have a tool that's just like, okay, now I just let that go automatically. It comes and I let it go. It comes and I let it go. At first, and for many years, for a lot of people, things come and they get stuck and it's hard to let go. Some days it's really easy to let things go when things are going great, but other days it's more difficult. And I think that's a natural, like, it's like natural waves in life. Sometimes you're in a trough, sometimes you're at the peak, and you gotta just learn how, no matter what's coming, to just let it go. And the better and better you get at that, then like, if you have a great meditation class here and you walk out of here feeling like, I got it. I really feel like this is it. And then you go out, you get in your car and someone cuts you off in traffic and you're like, what a jerk, right? Like, the things are going to come up, but then do you hold on to that feeling? Do you dwell on the feeling that, how is this person so entitled? He cut me off. I was obviously in the right way. Or do you just learn to just let it go and then keep driving and going your own way? And then, not forgetting where you're going, making the right turns, getting home safe. These are, to me, that's like good meditation, is when no matter what's coming up, then you let it go. But I think in like any given session, you're going to have good days and bad days, and that's not good or bad. It's just natural and normal. And it's just learning how to adapt to that. And then also like learning how to bring that out into the rest of your life. And that's why I do a lot of moving meditation, so that you can learn, like, you don't have to just sit still and do it. Like, you could treat your driving as a meditation. Like, okay, this guy cut me off. I swerved. We're both safe. I'm focusing now back on what I was doing, driving myself home safe. And I'm not going to get mad at the next person or drive extra fast because I'm upset, which, it can happen pretty quick, and then things spiral and it gets worse and worse. So I'm giving a long answer to a pretty easy, like, simple question, but that's what I would characterize as good meditation. Is just when things come, you just let them go. And just doing that consistently, whether you're sitting on a cushion or where you're driving or at your job. It's easy when you're sitting on a cushion, and it's easier when you're sitting on a cushion and it's quiet, there's no noise, there's nobody around you, nobody's bothering you. The challenge really comes when you go out into the world. Can you carry that mindset of clarity, letting go? Good question. Thank you. Appreciate it. Any more questions? I don't want to cut anybody off, or if you have thoughts or want to ask more questions. The chat lags a little bit, so I'm going to give them 1 second. In the meantime, I'll just make a few closing announcements. We have open studios this weekend here for this studio and the rest of this building, and there's an art studio down the street. So if you're interested in art, checking out the art community, I'm doing my community service, announcing that you can come and join us here. We'll have snacks and refreshments, and you can go wander around and check out all the other artists in the area. I hold this class on the third Thursday of every month, be the same next month, and then guided meditation on the first Thursday of every month, 7 to 8. We also have writing classes, writing group, art group, which are moving meditation practices. So learning how to use the art and the writing as a form of meditation. Those are on the writing's the first, well, next month it's going to be on the first and third Sunday, 3:30 to 5. So that's the 7th and the 21st, and then the second Sunday, 3:30 to 5 is the art group. That's December 14th. And we are in the middle of our year-end fundraising drive. We try to do all these classes, all these writing groups for free, open to the general public, but we do rely solely on donations to keep us afloat. And this is the end of the year. We're trying to raise funds to cover our expenses for next year, So if you'd like to leave a donation, we really appreciate it. We're a 501c3 nonprofit organization, so it's all tax deductible to the extent that the law allows. And if you're watching on YouTube, the information on giving donations is in the description. If you're here, there's a little table in the back with ways you can leave donations, and we greatly appreciate any generosity you can show us in supporting these programs. Yeah, and you can find our schedule on Meetup and themindlightway.org if you didn't catch any of these dates. And you don't need any prior experience to participate in any of these classes. With that said, I'm going to end the talk here, and if you want to hang out and chat and talk more casually, you're welcome to stick around for a little while. But thank you all very much for coming. Really appreciate it.